Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Who's an Anime? Your host Steve and Colin. We're here to continue our journey with Kino Journey, the beautiful world, maybe.
I mean, the logo I'm using is probably from the second series, and also this world feels far from beautiful.
Ah, but therefore it is.
I still don't buy that.
The
Still don't
world's
buy that.
the world's not beautiful, therefore it is.
Therefore, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Kino. Yeah. I'm not sure about that one. Not sure about that. Feels a tad. I don't know. Not true.
It's it's how you view the world and what you find interesting in it, I suppose. Would be
Yeah.
the way that they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh
Man,
boy.
this is. Should we just jump into it?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's get in.
Okay.
Let's get into and get through the other side.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this will be our second last podcast on Kino. Starting out today with episode 10. Oh, the story of the mechanical dolls.
Oh yeah. This one.
Yeah, I like that that wasn't on your mind when I was like, oh god.
Well, this one's kind of happy and all that until the very end.
I
I
mean,
found.
is it even happy? Like, I'd argue it's like generally kind of disconcerting and disquieting.
I mean, well, let's go through it and then we can decide.
Okay.
Then we can decide. So what's this one? Oh, it's Kino and Hermes are in a forest, looking for a place to fix Hermes because his speedometer's knackered and
Yeah,
other things.
because his rider is too hard on him.
Yeah. And she's like,
Not
"Oh,
pointing any fingers, Kino, but
yeah." and they end up bumping into this old woman on the road. Says, "Oh yeah, humans. They're not kind of like seen around here often. So let's go. I'll take you back to the house that we live with the family and stuff."
that I
And
look after. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like, hey, we robots have to stick together. We machines have to stick together.
yeah,
I like that this is the first moment in the entire series where I could be confidently sure that Hermes does in fact speak.
yeah. That's only what.
Because she reacts immediately to being called out by Hermes.
Yeah,
Like, I know like some of the other instances, but it's like, I feel like I could explain that away. This one, it's like, no, I feel like this is it. This is the first time where I'm like, yeah, okay, the motorbike talks.
yeah. um. Anyway, so there we are, and she takes it back to the house. Have you ever noticed that Kino just takes the bike inside everywhere? Like she just
I was
push.
going to mention that Kino just randomly takes the bike to bed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not just sits
Not
next to
into
the bike.
bed, but in the bedroom. Never leaves. Hermes is being treated as a full-on human person, which is fine,
Mm-hmm.
but no one questions that.
Yeah. And the other, now it just made me think of. I think I think it must be a Godfather or something, but it's Harry Berkman reference where it's like I think it's the Fred Flintstone one where he's like the soprano leading the family.
Yep.
And he's like, you take care of that now. And he goes, huh, I wonder what he means. And then uh, it cuts to him in bed and he just picks up his bed and there's like a headless head of a horse in the bed.
Yep.
And he goes,
That is the Godfather.
And then there's also the Simpsons. But then that's what when you said taking Hermes to bed, I just thought, oh shit,
The head of Hermes with
Hermes
just
Hermes
the
with
no
just
no
the
no
front
not quite
wheel.
like that. Not quite like that.
Yeah, but no. Anyway, so basically go in, and she goes, "Oh, go over there, and I'll get to you. I got to do stuff for the family." So she goes over, claims she's the maid of the house.
Yes.
So she goes, "Oh, where am I going?" Because it's like a dead end corridor with two doors. It's like I think Hermes says left, and she goes, "Oh, I'll go right." Uh,
Again, just I'm gonna go the way you don't say, Hermes.
yeah,
Get used to it.
yeah. I thought you'd be used to it by now.
Yeah.
So she goes in, and the stairs lead down to the basement. And she wanders down, and she sees all these bodies of robots in the basement. And going, "Oh, what's this? Oh, these are mechanical dolls, just like me." She
Ding ding.
she proclaims,
Yep.
and they're like, "Oh wow, you're pretty sophisticated for a mechanical doll.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please come up for dinner now. The family that will return."
Meet the family. They're totally not weird.
Yeah, they're no weird. And then yeah, so she goes up, has a gets served by the
Is
maid
that
robot.
this is for breakfast, isn't it?
No, this
Or is
is
it
for
no dinner
dinner.
first? It's dinner first. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Because they all come in and it's like, "Oh yes, this is the person you told me about." Yes, that's right. And right, I gotta go and recharge now, says the old woman,
Yep.
and then she leaves. And then Kino eats the food, and then the family, which is like a father or son and his wife, I assume, is the
Yep.
roles they're playing. Um, all kind of like to stare at the food, and uh, she asks them questions, and so, "Oh yes, I work in food industry. I work in the office, and this kid goes to school." Let's see.
Yes, they have things to be doing.
Yeah, and then she asks them a question about the village, and they're, "Oh no, you must be mistaken. There's no village around here. Maybe you're lost in the woods. That might happen." And then she asks them a different question, and they respond exactly the same.
Yes, nothing is going wrong here at all. Everything is fine. Please do not panic.
Yeah, yeah. It was just basically like they said the exact same lines. Only the kid says, "Oh, you must have got lost in the forest." I can't remember what she says, but it wasn't something that would be
The
responded.
kid repeats the exact same line.
Oh, I thought it was the mother. It said it the first time.
She does, and then the kid says it again.
Yeah,
And it's like, huh, this doesn't seem right.
yeah. And then suddenly they just pick up their plates full of food, and then open a wee hatch in the wall behind the picture, and throw all the food away.
Just tips it in.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, okay, so I can tell you what my thoughts are right now. It's like, well, this is like robots looking after robots or something going on here. There's some weirdness going on.
yeah,
Um, uh, I think the next scene is like where she's like, "Oh, Kino, I have something amazing to show you. Come with me." And she takes her up to a cliffside with Hermes, and she's like, "Okay, look." It's like, it's lovely." He's like, "No, but look at the water. You're gonna miss it." And then it's like a certain time of day hits as the light hits the water just right.
mm-hmm.
The reflection on the top of the water becomes less of a glare, and like it helps illuminate what's under the water, which is the land Kino was clearly looking for when she was speaking to the woman originally. He says, "Oh," out to the robot. She's like, "Oh, I guess that they didn't understand that this is the thing I'm looking for." And the human dolls, the mechanical dolls, like, "Oh, this is an ancient civilization." Kino's like, "That's like 4 years, 5 years at best. Like this is this is not this is not an ancient civilization. These buildings are contemporary."
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that kind of happens after breakfast. So she does, and then they talk about the weirdness, and then they go and do the breakfast, and they do the whole
Mm-hmm.
rigmarole of throwing the food away again, and then they do that. It's just then she kind of goes away and talks to Hermes. Is like, yeah, that didn't look that old, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then she goes back, and then she goes, oh, and then she kind of like goes, oh, I must be getting old. All my oil must be out of oil or something. Get some,
I'm running out of power. My oil's low. Uh,
yeah, not feeling too
are
good.
you okay? Yes, I'll be fine. He
Yeah,
wonders, actually, this seems like maybe you won't be fine. I think I figured out what's going on here.
yeah, yeah. And then she fixes the speedometer because she says, I can do that.
Yep,
Yeah,
because,
got,
we machines have to stick together.
yep. And then she wanders back in, um, and then
Kino follows in later on,
yeah,
and
there's
she's
yeah.
just lying there on the ground.
I think she comes up. I think it's basically go have the meal, come back,
Yeah.
and then she gets up and is going for breakfast again, but she's fallen over
Mm-hmm.
at that point. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to lift you to get up there. I'll go and get the family. Oh, all right, cool.
No,
And but the family
family are already here. Don't worry about it.
on
They
the
are
on
on
the
this shit.
on the landing of the yeah.
Yeah.
So
They just
then
float down like the fucking Stepford wives, pick her body up, and take her to her bedroom,
yeah
which she totally has a bedroom.
yeah yeah
We're seeing where this is going now.
yeah. She was asked if she knew her maker, and she says, "I don't know my maker."
No,
Yeah,
doesn't remember much.
no,
Just that
uh,
she's always served the family.
yeah. And then basically later in the bed, she passes away, saying, "Unhappy that I was able to serve you guys."
She, she asks them outright. She's like, "Was I able to serve you well?" And they're like, of course you did."
Mhm.
And yeah, just dies. You're like, man, that's what? What happened? And you're like, oh wait, she's seems like she's human. After
Maybe,
all that,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
because
maybe.
she's dead now.
Just, yeah. I mean, so they've basically have a funeral for her, and
Oh my
they
god.
lay her body there with two extra skulls.
I, Colin, if I may,
Uh huh.
I would like to filibuster for a moment and just
Oh.
really lay it on thick about what is about to happen in this story because holy shit.
Hmm.
Like it's already bad. Like this
I
is a
mean,
sad story.
it is a sad story. Yeah.
This is a sad story. How can we potentially make this worse? Actually, hang on. I've got it. So basically, they bury this old woman,
Mhm.
robot, with two unknown skeletons, and then Kino's like, "Well, I'm out."
Yeah.
And the lead robot goes, "No, no, hey, Kino, do you don't you want to know?" And I'm like, "Kino, please hang about. I want to know because this is
No,
insane."
I
Like
know.
and then I was like, "Actually, never mind, Kino. I was wrong. I didn't want to know." Uh, and it's like, well, you see, uh, years ago in that town down there that is, underwater now, this woman was a master scientist, a mechanical engineer who perfected us after years of trouble trying to develop machine and mechanical dolls, but developed us. And to do that, she had to spend significant amount of time away from her husband and her son. But now that she'd succeeded, she planned this big feast, and she was going to celebrate. She got out onto the street to see the father and son coming home, only only to have them killed in a terrorist bombing, where she then goes to try and tend to them, where the rubble then falls on her. Then, after the robots, mechanical dolls, save her from the rubble, she's forgotten about her family because she's been in a coma for a few days after this. They managed to revive her. And then she kind of gets her roles reversed, where she thinks she's the mechanical doll and she's there to serve the humans, who are not humans. They're, in fact, the mechanical dolls she has created. So then she goes about blissfully unaware of the deaths of her family. And then goes on to serve 3 robots who don't actually need any of the nutrition or help or any effort at all for the remainder of her 40 years after that point. At which point, she then dies, and they bury her with the skulls of her husband and son.
Yes.
And at this point, I said, actually, I didn't need to know that, Kino. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
It's
What the hell?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I and that's not even the worst bit. We haven't even got to the madness bit yet.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, as if it's not already bad enough. You're like, oh, well, you know, she's dead, never having known the true trauma that she actually left. And maybe that's like a good thing. Maybe it's not. But also she's wasted the back half of her life caring for things that never needed her care. But in their kindness, took the effort to make her feel wanted and make her feel necessary. But still, and then they're like, well, we're alone now. Oh, but Kino, traveler, perhaps we could be of service to you. No, I don't think so. And they're like, oh, well, thanks anyway. And then they drown themselves by falling backwards into the water.
Yeah, they just kind of slowly step backwards towards the cliff edge and then throw themselves into the water. It's just like do, and then step off, and it's like as they just disappear.
Yeah, and then Kino drives off. Go like, that's it. I'm done here. And then we cut to them floating lifelessly in the water.
Exploding. Because they're mechanical
and
more.
the episode ends. Colin, what is this show?
It's a show about people churning.
I tried to explain this show to my wife today, and she's like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, well, if it wasn't so pretty to look at and so well done, it would be much more of a slog. But oh my god. Everything is so dire and dismal.
Yeah. Not one of them's in a happy story, really, has there?
No, none. There's not one. Oh, well, actually, the tower one, maybe, I guess.
What about the one with the girl who went flying?
The flying girl? Maybe.
Yeah, didn't happen. It was like, you know, she was like mistrusted and that, but then she proved everyone right that she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, like, there's... Yeah. I don't think it's enough.
Oh, the two episodes.
I don't think it's enough on balance. Also, one of them is like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's just, I sat watching this and it was like, okay, I guess.
It was a nice story, I thought.
It's
all the way up to like the last 10 minutes where it's like lay on the despair thick.
Oh, it's just catastrophically depressing for the last 5 minutes of it, at least. And like I say, it's like it would be so much worse if this was terribly done, and it's not. It's the storytelling is like masterful, and it sounds and moves it perfectly, and it is written at a pace that works for the medium. It's great, but my god, it's hard. It's so hard to watch
Yeah.
and not feel just completely empty after finish. Oh,
The last
what
next episode's
I, I mean, the
not
next one is, I don't know if this
a
next
bit
one's
lighter.
better. I mean,
Bit
it's not as
lighter.
catastrophically bad, but it's still not happy.
No.
What do you rate this one?
I'll rate them both probably about the same as always. But anyway, I kind of liked it, and then there was the big bombshell at the end. And it's like, oof,
Yep.
that's a big bombshell. They did everything kind of well. You know, it was like a touching story of of an old lady kind of like looking after her family that she thought was a thing, and them.
Yes.
I don't know if they were in the wrong of like sparing her, the going back through
Like
the trauma or
it
not.
feels right. Like it feel like it was the merciful thing to do in a
Mhm.
terrible circumstance.
Yeah. Did they not?
Um.
Did they not say that they also flooded the city and
Oh, they did
rebuilt their
flood the
house?
city, didn't they? Holy shit! Yes, they did. They
They
flooded the
just
city.
they just like genocide the whole fucking
They did
country
kill an entire land
because
to cover the tracks.
didn't protect her. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the town was flooded due to the three robots who
It
then
was.
killed themselves because they couldn't serve someone.
Yeah.
You, you know, you thought they would be able to just go like, all right, oh, maybe we could do something on our own, you know, but
Yeah.
they
No, they
they
didn't want to do that.
didn't want to do that, so they're just like ended themselves. It's like Mr. Mises.
Yeah, it's the task is done, and
Yeah.
therefore I am also.
Yeah.
Good lord. This is a 10.
Yeah. 10.
It is much like the human trafficking episode. Perfect storytelling. It's just really like
Dire.
it's dire, but it's expertly delivered. It's like I say, it's beautiful to look at, to listen to. It moves so well. The pacing is just right for the time of the show, and yeah, like I can't fault it other than to say, man, this made me upset and depressed. Like like
Yeah.
it achieved what it set out to do, I presume, because it's like, yes, okay, there's some like minor positives to be taken from this, but ultimately it's just like, well, it all ends. And sometimes it ends just because I have no purpose.
I mean, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
certainly
just hard not to look at it that way.
yeah. So
Oh man.
let's come to
Okay.
the happier one.
Yeah, the better one. Episode 11. Her journey. This is like this is like the Simpsons best of episode of Kino.
Yeah, it's kind of well. I wouldn't say it's flashback episodes. It's
No.
flashback of her journey of little
Yeah.
bits that they also couldn't probably put into episodes because it didn't make sense.
It's not flashing back to things that we've seen already. It's
Mm-hmm.
very much like maybe actually more it's like an episode of Family Guy. Hey Kino, remember that one time?
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, Huckleberry
Oh,
Finn on the raft at the moment.
yes, very much so.
Oh man, yeah. That's like the lowest animation budget of all the episodes because all they do is just float down
Uh,
this raft.
and people have conversations for the most part.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, actually, you're right. This episode costs nothing.
yeah. Uh, this is them saving money for the big finale. Fuck.
That's crazy.
That's next week.
Oh, I look
That's
forward to it. But yeah, this one, yeah, the Kino and Hermes are drifting down a river on a raft, and hey, we sure have met some people, and it's
yeah.
like, sure have. And
Mhm.
then one of them is like the first person is like a conversation with a guy in a bar
Yeah.
who did he murder someone's husband?
He he murdered someone dear to this
This
this woman,
woman.
and then
Yeah.
he's done his time, and now realizes it's wrong and wants to atone it by helping her as however he could.
Yeah, because even the bartender's like, this guy's an asshole, but he seems cool now.
Yeah, seems turned
He
round.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to help out now. Like, all
Yeah,
right, fair
and
enough.
the woman's gone on her travels, and
He's gonna
he's
go with.
go with and be your bodyguard.
Yep.
And he turns around, basically says to Kino, like, "Yo, Kino, you're an experienced traveler. What's the number one rule?" She says, "Oh yeah, it's simple. It's just like being in home. Don't get killed."
Yeah. And
Uh,
then and then he immediately breaks that rule.
yeah, not by his
Wait.
choice.
Well, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, he didn't mean it.
Yeah,
He just, she just, she's like, oh, like, how can you be so cool about this? Anyway, bang, 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 bang. Oh, I hate this guy. Bang, and just keeps like filling him with lead from this gun, being like, oh, how dare you be like so helpful. Uh, anyway,
yeah.
you're dead now.
I can't forgive you type thing, and
No,
the
no.
fact that you use me as your atonement, well, is
Yep.
oh, it disgusts me so much. And so he shot him dead. Where Kino's just sitting at the back, along the
Chilling.
road, watching it. It's like, why did you not do anything? You could have done something. It's like, I don't really like to get involved with people. And then,
Sometimes it's best if I do nothing.
yeah, and then the person that he's was escorting, the one that shot him dead, then asked Kino, "Yo, Kino, you're an experienced traveler. What's the number one rule on the road?" And I think she says this time is like, "Don't kill people."
Try not to kill anyone. And
Yeah,
she's like, dun. Oh no. I failed immediately.
yeah. At
So
least
yeah,
that guy got his out of town before he
the way
died.
she looks round her at Kino, like, ugh, come on. Really? You're just saying that because I
Yeah,
just murdered that guy.
yeah. Uh,
Oh no. And yeah, that's weird. And then it's like, oh, and remember the master?
oh no, did it cut to
Do we
that? I thought
I
it
think
was.
we
I
do a bit
thought.
with the master where she gets saved from the wolf.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, but it cuts back to the raft, and they were like, "Oh, so why do you like people?" Type thing. Oh, I don't like people. The people are like the reason I travel type thing. But
Yeah.
I just don't want to get involved with them.
Yeah, that's
Um,
why I only stay places 3 days.
yeah, and then it cuts back. I thought I did something else. No,
It does.
actually,
I think it does the master bit, and then it does the bit where Kino stops because she's low on fuel.
y- yeah, yeah, because the master bit is like it's when she's run away from the village and she's running out of fuel,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's like, oh, Hermes, Hermes, oh, I can't go any further, I'm out of fuel. I need fuel. Then
Yeah.
they kind of collapses in the middle of the forest, and then this fox wolf appears. Big
This kitsune.
kitsune
Yeah.
appears, and Kino's like, "Oh no, shit!" and then backs away, and then out of nowhere, boom,
Yep.
the wolf's dead, and then there's this woman standing over her saying, "You can call me the master."
Yep. Dun dun
Uh,
dun.
and that's it.
Yep.
Cuts back
Then,
to the raft.
yeah. Then we come back to the raft next. Like, also, hey, Kino, remember that other time?
Pretty much. And
And
then
then we get to the old guy. The old
no,
guy?
no,
No?
no. It's the woman preaching no violence with the dude, the bodyguard.
Oh god, that's right. This is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've not carried any weapons on
No,
me, and I've not had any trouble.
no,
And
I've
the
survived and everything's been fine.
guy in the trench coat with the sunglasses on is like, and he pulls out a
Yes,
gun on
everything's
Kino.
fine.
Yeah, she's walked away. The woman that's preaching.
Yep.
It's like, well, the word is spreading, and we'll be good, and everything's fine. And then uh, she drives away and turns around the corner. And there's like 8 dead bodies,
Yep.
and it's like, oh
All just
shit,
stood up.
yeah,
It's like, oh man, that guy must have killed them all before they even knew what happened. He's good.
yeah,
It's like also not just before they knew what happened, but before his traveling companion knew what happened.
mm-hmm.
So that dude's just been murdering indiscriminately
Yeah,
every time they've gone somewhere.
mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
wild.
that's wild. And then I think she's lost basically her husband or something,
Hmm.
and therefore she says, "Oh, there's no point in getting hatred and vengeance, because it
But
just
there is apparently.
uh, it begets each other." And then yeah, so basically she's been like killing all these guys, and that was the end of that one. And then it kind of cuts to
Then we cut back to the raft.
back to the raft, and then remember, and then I think they have like this how we talk about like how she, you know, it's the reason why she travels is to meet people, but she doesn't want to meet, you know, interact with people. They make her
Yeah,
travel for the
yeah. She doesn't
stories.
want to. She doesn't want to be tied down to people.
Yeah, uh,
So
and uh, and then it cuts kind of there's a break, and then it starts with the wise man story.
yeah, this is the where she meets the other young girl who's like looking after the wise man
Mm-hmm.
because the wise man is a genius.
Mm.
Because when the wise man was sat outside homeless, the king went past and was like, "Hey, dude, you can have whatever you want." And he's like, "I want you to get out of my sun.
Yeah, very much.
You're blocking the sun. Get out
Yeah,
of my way." And the guy's like, "Oh, how profound!"
yeah,
And
and
not just this asshole.
yeah, uh, and then it was like basically he goes, "No, that's a load of bollocks," and
Yep.
then the girl goes away. Oh, I better go and attend to my duties, type thing,
Yep.
upstairs. And then he starts telling the truth of what happened to him. Like he was in a country, it was full of crime. He got put in the
Hmm.
can't remember what crime he'd done, but he was put in prison and then brainwashed essentially to remove subconsciousness out of him. But it just
Yes,
removed
it failed.
it failed because it removed all desire to do anything
Yep.
essentially.
No more motivation for nothing.
Yeah, not even work. So
Nope.
he got expelled from his, exiled from his country. And then he met a hypnotist who basically said something, and it's like, "Aha, you've already forgotten. Here, I wrote it on this bit of paper and threw this bottle with the bit of paper in it in the river. Go chase it if you want." And he's like, I did. I followed it, and I don't know why." Pretty much. Because I had no motivation to do it, but I
No,
did
no
it.
motivation, but I did it.
And then he can't remember the words, and he was like, needing to remember the words. I think he said something along the lines, it's not the words, the, the words are a token, something, something. And then Keel's like, oh yeah, I think I have. It's the sky, the blue sky.
Oh, the true blue sky.
the true blue sky, and then it kind of flashes back to another bit where Kino's just outside his building, and some guy's leaning out the window. Hey, Kino, do, do you know what the true blue sky is? I said, why?
No.
Oh, my dad on his deathbed, it was said this to me, and ever since then I kind of wondered what that was about. And she says, oh, it's not true because you can't. There's no such thing. It keeps changing. The sky is always changing.
If I had to say what I thought it was, I'd say it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, Kino.
Yeah.
Come on, please. Please, like, let someone have something.
No.
Nobody gets anything.
No. And then the old man kind of goes, that was it. That's exactly what he said. And then
His assistant prepares to shoot him.
yeah, his assistant suddenly appears upstairs, and Keel hears the gun getting loaded, and then she comes down. Then she just leaves him because he's about to die in a day or two because the doctor came along and diagnosed that he was going to die, and he was like,
Amazing.
And then so Keel's like, why didn't you kill him? It's like, you had the chance. And it's like, oh yeah, he's going to die next couple of days, so
she also had to kill him because that was her job. Like, if everybody was reverting back to his previous self, she should pull the trigger.
Yeah, because they've perfected the the removing the self consciousness out of the body. Yeah. But she decided not to kill him.
No.
And then it kills on the way, and then returns back to the raft.
Yeah, Hermes is like, hey, your life's a bit different than the rest of the people. And Kino's like, yeah, that's because I do things consciously.
I thought it was like your life is a bit the same of the old dude and her, because.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's basically the same. And Kino's like, no, I do things consciously. These people are just being dragged along.
Yeah.
And then that's the happy end to the episode.
No one dies. Well, except for that one guy.
Except for that one guy that got shot to pieces.
And then the 8 guys, they got shot by the other dude.
Oh yeah, and then that wolf.
And the wolf.
And then that old guy 3 days later.
Yeah.
There's only a little death when you think about it.
It's nothing like grievous, not like the last episode where it's like, they just genocide this city just to pretend to save the life and then commit suicide when they realize they got nothing to live for.
I mean, I agree. It's definitely not quite on the same level, but wow,
it's pretty grim.
How do you rate this one?
I kind of liked it. It was kind of good. Just probably about the same, 7 and 8, man.
Okay, I'm a high 6 on this one.
A high 6 on it, yeah.
Even when Kino is disjointed, it's still doing a lovely job of visualizing what's happening, and
there's good visualizations.
Yeah, it's a bit all over the shop, this one.
It is, but like I say, this one to me feels like maybe from the source material they had
a bunch of stuff
that they need to fit in.
Yeah,
it's like was it episode 3 or that about the poem thing and the.
Oh yeah,
that was all
the land of prophecies.
Yeah.
Wild times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've done it. We've got to the end of this episode, Colin, which means that there's only one more week of this left.
Yeah, and then on to happier things, right? Wait, no.
We'll talk about that in the end of the next episode. But as you've been hearing, You've been listening to Who's That Anime, an anime podcast all about anime. We can be found at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime and can be also found where all good podcasts are. We would love it if you would leave us a review. That'd be super cool. If you can't leave us a review or already have left us a review, telling a friend about us is another really cool way to help, spread the word. We do have a Patreon for those who do want to help contribute towards us paying for Crunchyroll, essentially, I guess, at this point. But yeah, there's different tiers of contribution there. You can find that at patreon.com/Who's That Anime. We have a Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post latest episode releases and occasionally some memes. We have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the show notes. We also have a YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Who's That Anime, where Colin painstakingly puts the video versions of these episodes together. You can also find the podcast RSS feed for both this and our other podcast, 5 Minute Fusion, on YouTube as well. We also occasionally like to play video games, Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can find the back catalogues and archives of those Twitch channels on youtube.com by searching for @couchfuel or @hailpayman. And that's us.
Yeah, that's it. We got to the end of it.
Next week's going to be a doozy.
Oh, next week's 10 times, no, 100 times worse than these episodes, man. They're just like, what?
Let's do it then. We'll see you next time, folks.
Before we go,
Oh, God.
do you remember Robojocks?
It rings a bell.
It's an old 80s movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Oh, God. Yes. I remember this.
Yes. So there you go. There's your clue for next week. We'll see you next time. Same anime place, same anime time, same happiness level.
Give or take.
Maybe less.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Oh, man.